worked with a lot of man-made products that we're drawing, whether it's a couch, whether it's a pyramid that was built in Egypt, or whether we do room interiors, furniture, boxes, and cityscapes. Now we're going to go to the natural world. We're going to try to draw some trees. Normally when you see people drawing trees, especially if they're beginning, they look like lollipops. They look like a brown stick with a green bubble on top, and that's what people call trees. Now sometimes gardeners actually cut them that way and they look kind of cute, but normally trees in the wild grow differently. And you know that a tree trunk is somewhat round. It may not be a perfect circle like a telephone pole, but it is going to have round edges. So the way you can start with this, since you know how to draw ovals, you put a few ovals down. A large oval for the tree trunk as close to the ground as it would be. As it goes up, they get smaller because as trees go up, they spread out with branches and the branches each become smaller. And here you have a smaller oval, another one, and then sometimes branches either come to you or go different directions, so you draw different ovals, different shapes. And that's where the branches will go. It's a little easier to see now that I've connected. You see, this almost looks like a barrel here with a smaller barrel, and then all these go up and you start to see branches of tree. When I erase the ovals except the ones at the end, you see it looks more and more like a tree, and it looks somewhat three-dimensional. But of course, big branches lead to smaller branches, which lead to even smaller branches, which if you ever break them off, they become twigs. They're very tiny. So the further out you go from the center and up, the smaller they become. When you erase the lines you don't need, now you start the beginnings of a tree. You erase the lines you don't need, and you start to see that you have a branch. This branch comes forward here. This one's toward the back. That's why this line here means that this branch is behind it. Just like this line means that this smaller offshoot is further back. This branch, because I erased this line, is coming forward. That one is toward the back. Now, I change the lines and I make them a little rough. So when you do this, you draw a line like this. And so you get this impression here, and you darken, add even more branches. And what I did for the roots, most trees don't come straight out of the ground. They usually have some kind of a root network. That's how the tree actually gets its nourishment and water. So the roots were kind of spread out. And the way to do that is you use triangles. If you look here, that was a triangle. And these are little triangles, and then you just let the roots come out so, and now you see that it's grabbing the ground. And you also have leaves. You cannot draw every leaf, so you use the side of the pencil and you just kind of sketch a few. Plus, if you get close to any trees, there aren't that many leaves where everything's blocked. So you draw leaves throughout, but not too many. Don't overdo it with the leaves. If you were to do this in color and the tree were brown and these were green and greenish yellow, they would come out more, but in pencil it's going to look more blended. And you notice that when I shade the tree, I make sure to shade in where the crevices are and the creases. And you notice that this branch was going away, so it's darker here, which brings the rest of the tree forward. This one, you notice, I left this light and put dark behind it, which again brings that branch forward. And I did that throughout the tree. And that's the way you draw trees. Now, if you draw a forest, just draw more of these trees, but don't make them look identical. And this gives you a nice appearance of a tree that has some foliage on it.